Hey guys, I'm Victoria, and today I'm bringing to you the Booktube Newbie Tag. I have the questions right here, and I'm going to attempt to answer them to the best of my ability, which probably isn't going to be that great anyways. Let's go! So I just found these questions off some random website. I know that there are other questions, but these are just the ones that I have, so we're going to work with them. The first question is, why did you start this channel? And I feel like this is a pretty simple answer. I started the channel because I wanted to talk to other people about what I love, which is books and reading. This is a great place where people can come and talk about books and reading. So it made sense to involve myself in this Booktube community. Question number 2 is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? Well, each person brings different things to any community because they always have a different opinion on certain things. So that's a given for anything, really. But in general, I try to think outside of what is normal. And I'm going to try to come up with as many new videos that I haven't really seen other people doing or talking about lately. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? I don't know. Why does anybody like reading? It transports you from here to somewhere much better. I saw this poem by Amanda Lovelace from The Princess Saves Herself in this one, and it is fiction. The ocean I dive headfirst into when I can no longer breathe in reality. So I guess that's a dramatic way of summing up what I love about reading. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? And I think this is a really difficult question because I've been reading my whole life, and there are so many different books that got me into this reading vibe. So we're gonna just name a few. So I just really quickly grabbed a few books that got me into reading that I just saw right off the bat. And the first one is my big book of fairy tales / Grimm's fairy tales, because I loved fairy tales when I was like really little. Even before I could really understand fairy tales, I just loved the magical fantasy aspect to them all. These 2 books, The Hunger Games and Harry Potter. I don't know why I'm showing you both at the same time, but these 2 were very influential to my reading life. The book that got me into Booktube would be Fire, not Graceling. I read Fire before Graceling, but the Graceling trilogy in general is what got me into this whole Booktube thing. Made me find Booktube, and yeah! Question number 6 is, what questions would you ask your favorite booktuber? I'm not really sure. Maybe like, what are some of your favorite bookish moments? I just came up with that on the spot. I have no idea. Question number 7 is, what are some challenges that you think will be hardest to overcome on Booktube? Another spontaneous answer. I think balancing the YouTube aspects with the other parts of my life, balancing the material that I'm uploading onto Booktube, which could be like tags or discussions or reviews or all the other sort of stuff that you can talk about on Booktube, balancing it all so that it's even, I guess. That was a horrible explanation. When did you start reading? It was question number 8. I started reading, I don't know. I've always been reading. That's a difficult question. How do you remember when you first started reading? I don't know. I guess I've always been reading. Just something I've always been reading, except like a newborn. Then I wasn't reading. But besides then, yes, I've always been reading. Question number 9 is, where do you read? I read wherever I am if I happen to have a book, and I'm always carrying a book with me. Like at school with the book, here in my house with the book, just walking down the street with the book. So if I find like a park bench or something, I sit down and I read with my book. I'm always reading, so it doesn't really matter to me where it is. Over Christmas break, we went to Harry Potter World. It was awesome, of course, but had like a bag with the book in it, so whenever we were like in line or sitting to eat or something, I would always have a book so I could be reading. And the final question in this tag is, what type of books do you like to read? I love fantasy. That is always going to be my number 1 genre if I'm going to a bookstore, there's contemporary, there's science fiction, there's fantasy, there's nonfiction, there's all those different genres, I'm always going straight to fantasy first. Just what I do. But that's not to say that I don't like other genres, like contemporary. I find it so very difficult to get into science fiction books, and I keep trying with so many different science fiction books, and I just can't get into them the same way that I can get into fantasy books. If anybody has any science fiction recommendations that they really love and they think is easy to get into, please leave them down in the comments and I will definitely try and read them. So those are all the questions that I have for you today. Just as a little information thing, I do plan on making a book review very soon. That's going to happen. I'm working on it currently. It's in the process. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to like, thumbs up, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. And I will see you in the next video.